You live by the sword, you die by the
Yeah.
sword. If you are living a certain way, you got to be real comfortable with the worst possible outcome of that
Right.
lifestyle. And if you're not, you got to look in the mirror. Because,
Right.
I mean, I said, like I told you, I feel like I am a habitual line stepper, but I'm also very comfortable accepting consequences for my
Right.
actions.
Right.
If I've ever done anything, and I definitely have, that I've regretted, and I've
Mhm.
woken up in the morning, I've been okay with those consequences because
Okay.
I've understood the decisions that I've made, and what'll come of that will come. But the piper's gonna have to get paid. Like,
Yes.
you're not gonna. Every action you make will have a consequence, whether it's immediate or whether it's delayed or whether it's good or whether it's bad. It'll
Right.
have a consequence.
I love
And
that.
you gotta be ready to pay for
Yeah.
that consequence.
Yeah. I'd rather not that you pay consequences.
Well, yeah, but I
I know
mean,
you're a man. You have to live your life.
you live by the sword, you
Yeah,
die by the
I
sword.
know.
I think, I mean, at least from what I know, it seems like our father was
Oh Lord.
pretty similar. But at the end of the day, I
I
think
try not to tell you some of his stories.
it's okay.
All right. You know I'm gonna tell a story, right? Shout out about the hat, by the way. One of Dom's closest friends gave me this hat. I've been wanting it for a minute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. Into the story. So, first of all, let me tell you that the day I found out, there's a whole story to that I'll tell you about later. But the day I found out that I was having a baby, which was a shock to me the first time around because I was not planning for one, I come home to give Dom the news and he's polishing his yellow motorcycle, right? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, "Ooh, your life is about to change and you don't even know it." So I give him the news and I'm looking at a man who's in love with his motorcycle and I'm saying, yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be doing this for. Fast forward, this would be about a year later. Devin is born. He's about 2 months old. It's a summer day. It's like mid-afternoon. I'm a little heated because here I am breastfeeding this child again. And it's Dom's turn to come and take him over, and Dom is running late. And I'm like, dude, where is this guy? He had said, I want to go and ride my motorcycle early in the morning before my rotation with the baby. All right, cool, you got that. So finally, a call comes in, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's kind of quiet. I'm like, you're supposed to be here already. You're late. Like, I need to rest. So he says, we have a problem. What's the problem, Dom? Well, I was arrested. What? Arrest what? I was arrested. I'm holding the baby. I'm breastfeeding the baby, and I'm listening to a man tell me he's been arrested. What did you get arrested for? Well, I was riding my motorcycle, and the cop claims that I didn't hear him, and he tried to stop me. Next thing I know, he's flying off of his motorcycle and pulling me off of my motorcycle at a red light. And I'm on the ground. Next thing I know, I'm in handcuffs and I'm at the station near the Holland Tunnel. What? At this point, Dom is like a big executive at a internet company. And, this is like way out of pocket. Don't mean he never had any brushes with the law, but that's for a different episode. So anyway, I'm just like, what? He's like, listen, yeah, I'm here. You have to come get me. I've never done this whole exercise before. So here I am putting a 2-month-old baby in the car and zooming down to this station near the Holland Tunnel, I guess the Port Authority police place, to get him out of jail. Well, of course, they released him on his own reconnaissance because he's like a whole executive right up the street at a company. And so he comes out and I'm like, bro, what happened? He's like, yeah, I didn't hear the guy, this, that, and the other. And next thing I know, I'm flying off my bike and he's tackling me and I'm in the cuffs and I'm going to the station. And I say to him in that moment, you see, we had this conversation about this motorcycle being an issue now that we have a kid. Like, you could have been really hurt. And so the point of the story is this was the third strike. There had been one episode in New York with the whole crew and them almost getting into a fight. There had been the second episode where he had to lay down the previous bike and get road rash all across his leg on his way almost home. This was episode number 3. So I'm sure he was calculating the consequences, but I think he had missed some pieces about what could have really gone wrong now that we had a 2-month-old baby. So guess what happened next? we had to agree on the rules of engagement for the motorcycle going forward. And let's just say the motorcycle didn't get anywhere close to as much use as it did, because from now, the stories I've heard since then, they pale in comparison to what I'm telling you without being arrested, right? And so he was called Redliner. That's what's on his jacket, Redliner. So thankfully, nobody, shout out to all his Hayabusa brothers who never told me all of the crazy stories until after he was gone, because it is only a miracle that that man was here for as long as he was, riding the bike the way he rode that bike. Apparently, he was gifted at that. So, back to the episode about living by the sword and dying by the sword. Thankfully, he didn't die by the motorcycle, but I wonder how well he calculated his risks. Back to the episode.
I'm an overthinker, so
Right.
I know
Every
the possibilities,
Yeah,
and
right.
that's why whenever I make a bad decision,
Mhm.
I'm not paralyzed with inaction the next day when it happened, because
So
I
what do you
prepared for
do?
this in my
What do you
mind.
do then? How do you keep going forward?
You bite the bullet. You do what you got to do. You apologize to who you got to apologize to.
Right.
You say the right things when you can. You make things better if you can,
Right.
knowing that you probably can't or you might not be able to,
Right.
and you keep moving.
Yeah.
You go forward with your life.
Okay. Fair enough. So if you had to tell Alonzo something in the movie, at which point would you have had told him, man, get off the train?
None. I'm happy with it. He got what happened to
Really?
him. I don't.
You
I
didn't really
wouldn't.
like this guy?
No, I hate it. He was
mean,
he was a terrible person.
but he
Yeah.
also, I mean, I haven't watched the movie,
Mm.
but he would have gotten what he deserved at some point.
No,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No, I think he could have. I think he could have. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I don't think necessarily, but I'm saying like in the context of the movie,
Uh-huh.
right? Like in the situation that he was in, obviously in the universe or whatever that they're
Uh-huh.
living in, like I don't see a world in which a guy who's doing as much as he's doing, as egregiously as he's doing it,
Right. Doesn't get it at some point.
doesn't hit it at some point.
Yeah.
And it seemed like was he doing it somewhat carelessly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
at this
mean,
point,
so-
he was just
right,
like wilding.
somewhat
Right. So,
carelessly.
and I think, like, I felt like in his case, that was bound. I don't think in every case everybody's bound to get consequences for everything that they've done. I don't think that's true at all.
So fast forward, I go to pick him up. He's not in jail. He's in like detention. And I am like, okay, just went from worse to ridiculous in like crazy time. First, we got to after getting him out of detention, we've got to get the motorcycle out of impound. Yes, impound. And then we're like, what do we do next? I happen to have interned in high school with a Supreme Court justice in that town, in that area. And so I called them. It's been a long time, but I'm like, I need help. And they refer us to a lawyer. To talk to the lawyer, $5,000.
What?
Just to talk to the lawyer. And when we talk to him, he's like, well, it's just your word against his. He's the police officer, so you'll be lucky if you just have to pay a fine and there are no consequences. Meanwhile, he now has a charge of evading arrest. What? Yes. Neither of us have been anywhere near anything like this. And we're just like, oh my gosh, what do? We have a brand new baby. And now this. So it takes a year of this hanging over our heads for it to just even go to court. Of course, there's more money to be spent on a lawyer. And when it finally makes it to court, thank God the police officer does not come. And so it gets sent to what's called, I think it's like PTI, pretrial intervention, which basically is like a kind of get out of trouble-free card if you don't get in trouble for another year. So now he's got to have another year where he's worried that if anything goes wrong, things can go really, really left. We've got to pay all this money, more money, fines, all kind of stuff. And here we are with all this stress, this drama, a brand new baby, and worried about what our future looks like, all for him riding his motorcycle. I think he would have argued before that about how he had calculated all of the risks, but he had not. In fact, this is the third time something had gone really, really left on this motorcycle. So guess what? Game over. As you think that you as a young person, particularly a young man, has calculated all of the risk and that you're prepared to pay the piper, you might not know what the cost from the piper is going to be. So just be a little bit more mindful. And in his case, I think we should have pulled back on the motorcycle riding a little sooner. Back to the episode. I don't remember seeing women in the. Was there any woman in his life in the movie? I
He
don't
had
remember.
a girlfriend. He had 4 sons.
Okay. And what was the like? How was the interaction between him and the girlfriend?
They
Do you
seemed
remember?
fine. She
Interesting.
seemed to understand how he lived. And,
Okay, yeah, now I
yeah,
remember.
Yeah. I mean, every risk he took was calculated. There was no decisions that he made that weren't
That's why I don't think he
logical
did it
given his.
carelessly.
I mean, he did do it carelessly, but like he made one decision where it was like, whoa, that's crazy. But if you think about it, all the people in the building that witnessed what he did were loyal only to him. And the only person who wasn't, he could pretty much make or break his career. He was a nobody. So that was a calculated decision. He didn't. He left the guy that, the dude who I was talking about, the nobody, off at a Mexican drug dealer's house with the belief that they were going to kill him. Like
Yeah.
these are all pretty calculated decisions. He ran into some very unforeseen circumstances, and yeah, he got, and that can happen. And you have to be. There's no like.
So he became a crime boss as a police officer, basically,
Mhm.
right? He morphed into a crime boss and a police officer at the same time, essentially.
Yeah.
Can that happen
In the real
in
world,
real world?
depends
It
on how
has
you define
happened.
a crime boss.
Huh?
Depends on how you define a crime boss.
Well, I mean, in his case, he was running drugs, he was doing everything, right?
Mhm.
And still had his regular job. Is that, I mean, I hope, but I know some young people talk about side hustles. Would that be acceptable in your day, in your world right now, as being a side hustle or?
I don't think it's possible in the modern
Why did
day,
you shake your
yeah.
head? You've never heard anybody say that as being their side hustle?
You're asking me if I've heard anybody say that as being their
Yeah.
hustle,
Like
or
being a
side hustle.
criminal, being
Yeah,
a professional criminal,
Yeah.
killing
Like,
people.
no, not necessarily killing people.
Mhm.
It's,
I think there's levels to it.
right. There are levels,
Yeah.
but how does it get started? Do you think he started killing people?
No,
Okay. Where do you think it started?
I don't know. Probably drugs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point,
Uh-huh.
is that it's an evolution,
Yeah.
right? And so if you find yourselves dealing with people possibly who may start a certain way and see that the money is easy and it's quick and it's attractive, it's not a far-fetched idea to think that some of them could get bigger with it. It is a thing. And you probably will experience it in your lifetime and have to make some decisions about whether or not you're going to still want to roll with this person or not, because somebody you know is going to choose that path. You want to, A, make sure it's not you. That's a mom plug. But B, somebody you know is going to make that choice. And it's not going to happen overnight that they're going to become a killer. It's going to creep in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that was the most extreme version of that. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to meet anyone who goes down that path in real life.
I hope not.
I really doubt it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
That is my hope. But I am telling you, as your mama, this is a what your mama didn't tell you moment. It's highly likely that somebody you know is going to go down that path. I didn't think so. There were people I went to church with. There's a guy I dated from church who went down that path. He's now dead. But he went to prison. He sold drugs. When I met him, he wasn't doing that. Fast forward about 5 or 6 years, he was a big time drug dealer. Eventually, he went to jail, came out, had some kids, went back to jail, and died in prison, along with some other family members of his. I could have never called it when we were going to church together and dating. Hi, I'm Rochelle. You're watching What Your Mama Didn't Tell You, the podcast. If you like what you're hearing, please comment, like, and subscribe.
Here's how you can tell the difference between a sociopath or psychopath.